Hello and welcome everybody to Entangled Frequencies, the channel all about music making and sound design. In this episode I want to talk with you about the Ableton Operator. The Ableton Operator is a synthesizer that's coming in with the factory pack of Ableton, and in my opinion it's some kind of an underrated child. When I was starting to produce, I used the operator a lot, but soon thought, okay, I have to advance to other commercial products like the like the synthesizer of Native Instruments, the Massive, because the Massive is more massive, more powerful. But now, while I've understood everything synthesizers are doing, I was rolling back myself and thought, oh, the operator, let's give it another try. And I was surprised that the operator actually is that kind of powerful if you know how to use it. So if you're starting to produce, just check the operator, learn it, and learn the internal routing, and I guess you are satisfied in the end. Let's head over to Ableton, locate the operator here in the Explorer, and just drag it on a MIDI lane and see what we have here. We have the operator. It offers us for oscillators an LFO and low frequency oscillator, which we can map to add a little bit more movement. We have an integrated filter. We have some basic functions here, like the transpose of the key. We can set it an octave down, 12 pieces, or an octave up, 12 pieces, or down, or whatever we need to do. We can add a stereo spread. Here we have another envelope, which we, for instance, can map on the pitch. And here we have volume adjustment, and the tone color we can manipulate here, and time stretch function. But let's start with the oscillators. Here in the center you have certain values that are hidden while being on other fields, and these values are according to the field that you have selected. So here we got for oscillator A, we selected it here. We have an envelope curve, which is manipulating the overall volume of the synthesizer. As usual, as any other synthesizers, an attack of 0 milliseconds will give us a heart attack, and if we put it a little bit more to, let's say, 200, we have a pretty soft attack. So a raising volume, as you want to say. And we have the possibility to select a waveform. We got here some standard waveforms, like the saw wave in the full frequency spectra, and we can even with this pencil here draw our own waveform. For now, let's leave it with a saw wave and go on to these two functions. We can set the velocity, the impact of the keys we are playing on our hardware to the volume. So if I push the key softly, it will be more quiet. If I put it hard, then it will be kind of loud. And here we have the key tracking function for the volume as well. So if I play a lower note, then the synthesizer will be a little more quiet, and if we are playing a higher note, then the synthesizer can be a little bit louder in volume. We have a phase function here as well, where we can shift the overall starting point of the waveform. Be aware, if you put it up, you get a click in the beginning while starting it when you have an attack of 0. And yeah, you can use this phase thing very nicely to eliminate phasing issues, especially within your sub-frequency range. But that's something where you need to be a little bit more advanced in composition and mixing. So that's about the oscillators here, and let's advance to the LFO. The LFO, as I said, can bring in a little bit more movement. We have to activate it here. Now we have a sine wave that is activated, or the LFO will swing regularly and we have a rate and the amount of swinging. So let's just check it out. Here we have the normal envelope curve, so we can say the amount of the oscillation will start very low here at 25% because it's indicating always the bottom, and we can then set the maximum value here for the amount. Now we have mapped the LFO on the pitch of all our synthesizers. Let's just select A and see what happens. So the pitch is going up and down in form of a sine wave. If we put the rate up, it swings a little faster. So we can also do that with the filter. So let's try. Wait a second, we need to adjust the filter. So there's no pitch modulation, there's just the filter modulation, which means that this value goes up and down. So we can as well choose another destination for the LFO here, second destination beside the pitch envelopes and the filter. So here as well we can map the velocity and the keynote onto the amount and the rate of the LFO. So that's kind of nice and convenient as well. Let's head over to the filter. Yeah, before I head over to the filter, you can here set a sync function. So you can then adjust the rate on whatever fourth notes or 1 bar or something like that. Let's head over to the filter. Here we have at the moment a low pass filter activated. We can choose a high pass, a band pass, and so on. And as you can hear, when we manipulate this value, we can manipulate the overtones or cut off the overtones of the sound. We can make that an envelope, which gives us a little bit more naturality. When you're pulling a guitar string, you have a higher tone in the beginning and then it decreases to a lower oscillation, giving you a lower tone. And you can do that, simulate that with the envelope. Therefore, we have this envelope curve. And what you need to do is to set the amount of the envelope a little up. If I do that, now it goes up, it starts somewhere here, and then decreases to the amount that's set here. Let's see. Let's put it a little down, the decay. Right. Or let's shift the attack a little to just for demonstration purpose. We do it, we make the overall synth a little louder. Whoop. Yeah, it's rising and then fastly falling. So we can make the filter envelope here. Especially when you're designing a bass line. Let's go a couple of octaves down. Now have okay, a little less. Slope amount a little up. Volume up. So you can, if you want to, you can design your bassline there. We'll make another video for that soon. But yeah, that's the filter envelope, and we got the shaper, so we can add a little bit more overdrive here and distortion. for the filter, which is also pretty nice. As well, we can manipulate, as in all other functions of the operator, accordingly to the key what we are pushing, the overall filter frequencies. Here the strength of the impact and the key note can be there mapped onto the frequency. And yeah, so let's just make that like that so that we get a sound. Go a couple of octaves up on my keyboard again. So yeah, let's head over to the next section here. We have another envelope which we can map. For instance, a pitch envelope. When we are choosing the destination to the oscillator A here, deactivate everything else. Put the attack up. That the initial value we put it on -48. That should now some like that. So we got a pitch envelope here. This is actually the same procedure which we have here on our LFO, only that this is not an LFO, that's just a steady envelope curve. So we can choose a destination again, and yeah, we can choose a glide function. Let's check it out. Put it a little up, and we'll here put the envelope back on 0. Sound is steady. The LFO. And now we should get smooth pitch envelopes while shifting. We have to set the time a little bit more up. Here. There's a fade from one key to another. Normal glide effect, as you can find in any other synthesizer. So the next field here is the most interesting, probably most complicated. Here we have algorithms for our frequency modulation. If we are now activating this oscillator, we get a frequency modulation within the oscillator A. So in this case here, oscillator B is modulating oscillator A, and you can choose different algorithms. So yeah, underneath there we got the internal routing. As I said here, the rate key, and here as well the velocity and key, what you can map. As I said, the impact of how hard you're pushing the keys, and the height of the notes are manipulating the volume here, but you can internally route that to other values here in this routing section as well. So for instance, I will just check the filter frequency here and the velocity, put it on 100%. I push the key soft, push the key hard. So accordingly to the strength of the key of the pushing, it will influence the filter frequency. And yeah, you have aftertouch functions and well that you can map. You can map the modulation wheel here on other values. So the internal routing system is kind of simple, but very powerful and nice. Here you can choose different more detailed oscillator attributes like the voices or retrigger method. So am I allowed to push 2 keys simultaneously, or do I have to or will the key just change when that happens? You can set that here. Yes, and you have a time stretch function here. So these envelopes, you have set the time here. If you are now twisting that knob, then the overall envelopes, this envelope, that envelope, every envelope will then be manipulated, will be adjusted to according to what you have set here. The tone color is determining the amplitude of the higher frequencies. You can reduce it or make it more loud. The volume, you can adjust it if you have set the filter very on the bottom or in a low frequency range. You might raise the volume to just get the signal here near to the amount you want. And yeah, that's actually about it. That's the synthesizer operator and what it actually can do. So yeah, I hope you learned something and that I could bring the operator a little closer to you, and I hope you liked it. And yeah, thank you for watching, and as always, groove on.